Tonight on the Marion Star Live, we'll tell you about how local theater kids can practice until they can be live on stage again.
We'll hear from one of our staff members who now holds a statewide title.
We'll also discuss the difficult events that happened in Washington this week, and Aaron tells us about a tragedy that happened closer to home.
We were there when a new locally owned business cut the ribbon.
And Bill will be back with another Turning Back Time.
I'll also remember a local coaching legend we recently lost, and we'll tell you how you can remember others that we lost in this past year.
And we have more to share on tonight's Marion Star Live.
Now live from Swinford Media Group. The Marion Star, where Marion is the star.
Good evening and welcome to the Friday night edition of the Marion Star Live. I'm Rachel Stroud.
And I'm Riley Swinford. Happy New Year. We hope you had a great holiday season, a very Merry Christmas, and a very Happy New Year. In this new year, the students are back at school locally, but IHSA local sports are still on pause.
And theater kids who would normally be preparing for a spring musical have got to wait a little bit longer until they can be back up on stage in front of a live audience. But a local production company, Art Starts, which is located right here in Marion, right off the square, has found a way to help future actors and actresses hone in on their skills from home during a virtual theater workshop. I got the opportunity to talk to actress and Hare native Angie Fisher about this theater camp experience.
I myself, Angie Fisher, and then my friend Daniel Schweitzer are hosting an online virtual theater camp through Art Starts. So it is called The Greatest Theater Camp Ever. And so that was the title of it. In this fall, we did it, and it was an 8-week course, and we would meet twice a week. So we had a younger group, an older group. And so, I know Daniel and I have both assisted with Art Starts theater camps in the past. And but in person, just a week long in the summer. And so of course that was not able to happen this year. And so we got together and we were like, okay, what can we do? So we developed this online course, and we really wanted kind of the purpose of it to be like, how can you keep creating as an individual artist? Like, we can't all be on stage together. So what can you do at home to keep your creative juices flowing? So the course comprised of, we did all the basics of theater. We did singing, dancing, acting. The dancing actually went really well. That was a huge successful part of it. He was able to play music on his computer, share it with everyone else's computer. And that was one of my favorite days. We were dancing, and this one girl was like, oh, I forgot I was in my bedroom for a second. Like, I felt like I was on stage dancing again. And so anyway, we covered a lot of the core basics. And then we Art Starts always has like a theme to their camps. And so we decided we picked The Greatest Showman. It's a very popular musical movie starring Hugh Jackman. It's about P.T. Barnum. So it's a circus show, right? And so we wanted to talk about like circus arts, and we brought in a lot of guest artists. We brought in an alumni of Art Starts who does like circus performances. So yeah, we kind of tied in this whole circus performance element to all of it. We did this one in the fall, and then we're about to start part 2 on Tuesday of next week. And so we're calling it The Greatest Theater Camp Part 2. And because that theme just really seemed to work well of getting people thinking outside of the box in a creative way. And so we were like, okay, what about part 2? And it's like, it's the sequel, right? And so what we're going to be talking about is like sequels, like Frozen 2, Annie 2. And then we want the students to explore what a sequel of The Greatest Showman might look like. And it will be a great opportunity for our students who were in part 1 of the camp, but also new students. It's not like anyone would be behind if they just joined in this part 2. So we're going to be going over those basics again, but digging even deeper. Yeah, I know one of the biggest like takeaways for us from it was so many kids at the end of the camp were like, oh, I gained so much confidence through this because it's very intimidating, the camera being on you. It feels very different than being on stage in front of an audience. So this will also be 8 weeks. We are starting this coming Tuesday on January 12th, and it runs through March 4th will be our final day. And then we'll do another online virtual showcase for it. And so registration technically will end this Sunday on January the 10th, I do believe that is. Yeah, so you can register online at artstarts.biz. It's B-I-Z. And if you look up ArtStarts like on Facebook, you'll find our Facebook page. You can find all the info there.
Another very experienced stage performer is our very own Victoria Shore. In addition to being with the Marion Star Live, since our very start nearly a year ago, Victoria has held many titles in the pageant world as she worked her way up through various age groups and won various pageants at all different levels of the Miss Illinois organization. After an exciting announcement this week, Victoria will now be holding a new title, and she stopped by our office earlier today to tell us all about it. Victoria?
Hi everyone, it's Victoria Shore. You may recognize me from working at the Marion Star Live, but I have some extremely exciting news to announce. I was recently named the Miss Illinois Outstanding Teen 2020. Now, I've competed in the Miss Illinois Outstanding Teen competition for years here at the Marion Cultural and Civic Center, but I'm so excited for what is coming up in my year of service as Miss Illinois Outstanding Teen. My social impact initiative is My Girl Agenda, which is a campaign through Girl Scouts of the USA, which I've been involved with for 10 years. So I cannot wait to make the girls of Illinois into go-getters, innovators, risk-takers, and leaders, while I'm also helping represent the Miss Illinois organization. I'm so excited for what is coming up in the rest of my reign, and thank you so much to every single person here in Marion who supported me and in outside communities in Southern Illinois.
Of course, this week the news has been filled with news from the U.S. Capitol building where Congress gathered to certify the presidential vote. As we are all aware, a rally in support of President Donald Trump's effort to halt the certification of the vote turned into a march to the Capitol, and some of those protesters pushed back security and invaded the Capitol, defying the Capitol Police, damaging the historic building, and leading to the death of 2 people and leaving several others injured. Our Congressman, Mike Bost, was among those Republicans who officially objected to the vote certification, but he had to join his colleagues in taking shelter. He sent out a message to constituents while he waited for the Capitol to be cleared, saying he wanted to let everyone back home know that he was safe, and adding that what's happening in our nation's capital is not just unacceptable, it's un-American. He asked everyone to please pray for peace and the safety of our brave law enforcement officers and first responders.
Marion native Paul Ash lives and works in Washington, D.C., and operates a business on Pennsylvania Avenue. We've been in contact with Paul and will be interviewing him on Monday about life in Washington during this tumultuous time. We'll have that interview for you in next week's Marion Star and Marion Star Live.
And while that unsettling incident happened a good distance from here, back home, another family is coping with their own tragedy nearly 6 months after 46-year-old Laura Wolf Orlovich of Marion went missing. Here's Aaron Price with more.
The remains of a Marion, Illinois woman who's been missing for over 170 days have been located in Indiana. According to a news release from the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office, information obtained on the investigation indicated that Wolf had traveled through the county following her disappearance. On August 21st, 2020, items belonging to her were located on railroad property in rural Springfield Township, specifically between the County Road 300 West and County Road 400 West. The multi-agency investigation continued, and on September 23rd, police conducted a series of grid searches in the area. On October 28th, a farmer harvesting corn located human remains in a field. Following additional grid searches in December, the remains were identified as that of Wolf. According to police, early in the investigation, a person of interest identified as Lynn Ware Jr. of Martin, Tennessee, developed into her disappearance. Investigators later determined her death as a homicide, and on December 31st, the suspect was arrested in O'Fallon, Illinois. Ware waived extradition and will be transported to the LaPorte County Jail. The investigation remains open and ongoing. No further information is available for release at this time.
In July of last year, Laura Wolf was reported missing to the Marion Police Department. In September, her daughter Amber Whitlock told Dateline's Missing in America that she knew something was wrong when she couldn't reach her mother by phone. Our sympathies go out to Amber and her family. As the story progresses, we'll keep you updated.
We'll be back with more right after this, including another in our Turning Back Time series, and we'll also celebrate an opening of a new Marion business. And later in sports, I'll remember the life and legacy of Coach Rich Aaron. Stay with us.
Swinford Media and the Marion Star are proud to have the Watermark Auto Group as a sponsor of all our digital programming.
Swinford Media and the Marion Star appreciate the support of the Arcadia Wealth Group, which is sponsoring Wildcat Wednesdays and our Turning Back Time segments. Small markets labeled as convenience stores first rose to prominence in the 1960s and 70s. Here locally, Bob Martin and Frank Bailey were the founders and owners of the Big John supermarket chain in several small southern Illinois towns. They decided to open their first convenience store in 1974 in Grayville and named it Huck's. Today, the Huck's chain has more than 120 locations and 1,500 employees in Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Back in the early 1970s, when there were just a few Huck's stores, Martin and Bailey teamed with Mr. and Mrs. Mood Cross of Marion. Eventually, Mood and Flo Cross opened 3 Huck's locations in Marion, including one on South Court Street, in what later became the Sunbeam Bread Store and is now an unused building. The Court Street Huck's later moved to a larger location across Hendrickson Street. Another was located on North Carbon Street and was the first to get gas pumps. That location is now the Coldwell Banker Real Estate Building. The third was across from Ray Fosse Park on East Young Street, one of 4 Marion Huck's locations still in operation today. In this photo, you can see Mood Cross with his signature tilted cap and toothpick at a family reunion at the park, with the Huck's store visible in the background. Those who remember those original Huck's locations will also remember this logo. The silhouette of Huck Finn was modeled by the Cross's grandson, who you know as a contributor to the Marion Star Live and a valuable contributor to his hometown, artist Sean Vincelette. Sean remembered fondly the good old days of working with his grandparents in one of his Marion Landmarks series of videos.
He's the one who taught me a hard day's work and being paid for it and that sort of thing. So he would take me to the stores and put me to work sorting. Back then you would return the soda bottles, and so we have Pepsi and Coke products, so you couldn't return them you had to separate them out. So he would give me the job to go in what we called the Coke, or the bottle cage, that's what it was. It was
the bottle cage.
Cage outside.
That sounds glamorous.
It was very glamorous.
Where's Sean? He's in the cage.
He's in the cage. And it was chain link fence. It had a roof, but it was just chain link fence for walls. And that was behind the store, and they would store the empty bottles and I guess new shipments there, but he would send me out there to sort the bottles and pay me a couple dollars, a few dollars, whatever it was for the day. So I had a lot of memories, great memories of my grandfather growing up. This is one in particular. I was a little young for this, but I do remember the gas crisis that we had, where
Because in this image here, he's painting "Sorry, no gas."
Correct. It was. In fact, it was not long after they had installed these particular gas pumps, like days or a week at the most. So they had the grand opening for the gas offering, and then boom, sorry, we're out of gas. So they that was a time period in which I'm not sure how a lot of people.
Well, maybe actually it was good foresight that it was grocery and gas. So hey, no gas, but you can come and get a loaf of bread.
But if you didn't have any gas, you couldn't get to the store to buy your loaf of bread. So it was a double-edged sword.
The Crosses eventually sold 2 of their stores, but for a while kept the East Young Street location and operated it as Parkview. They later sold that store to the Hucks Corporation and retired. But not really, as Sean says. The couple then purchased a flower and gift shop called Four Seasons and later sold it to new owners. The gift shop became etc. In March of 2001, the Martin and Bailey family sold the Hucks Corporation to their employees, making the large chain 100% employee-owned. Sean Vincelette fondly recalls the good old days when his grandparents owned the Marion location and said he still likes to stop at a Hucks when he comes to town. Thanks to Sean, along with Ross and Sophia Swinford, for their help in providing photos and footage for this Turning Back Time segment. And as always, thanks to the Arcadia Wealth Group for sponsoring all our Turning Back Times. This is Bill Swinford reporting.
Thanks, Bill. The start of a new year marks the start of the grand opening of a brand new business here in Marion. On Tuesday, Mayor Mike Absher and Commissioner John Stecklin were on hand to welcome Luxury Vibes to Marion. Luxury Vibes is a fitness center as well as a place to find vegetarian meals, vegan meals, and smoothies. Owner Shauna McIntyre tells us that she's got a passion for fitness and wellness and has wanted to open up a store like this for a very long time. Here's more from Shauna and community leaders Mike Absher and Pastor Larry Lee at the grand opening.
I appreciate everyone for being here. This is something that I thought about a long time ago, and I actually moved from Murfreesboro and came over here to go to school at Wren Lake to be a chef. And I always was on the fitness and all that stuff. So then I just thought, I should try to do vegan, vegetarian food. A lot of people try to do healthy. So I just went on and went for it. And so as I thought about that, I thought about all this other different stuff like the healthy smoothies, the fitness center. It's not a big place, but this is just the beginning.
As I have a fitness center here, and I have memberships as well. So each membership has 3 fitness classes, so I'll be doing fitness classes 3 days a week. And then I also have a girl here that's going to be doing yoga once a month as well. I don't know, I just feel blessed to even be able to, come here and just start something different, because I haven't seen anything like this around here at all that actually has the fitness workout and then, doing the vegan and vegetarian food.
I had the privilege of discussing this venture with Shauna earlier, or I guess last year. And as a business person, before I was a politician, so to speak, mainly an entrepreneur and starting small companies just like this one, it's so exciting to me to see somebody have a skill and marry that to a passion. People really don't, I think they overestimate sometimes what does it mean to start a business, and she just defined it. Taking a skill, marrying it to a passion, you put those 2 things together and a business is born. And so I applaud Shauna for doing that. Not everybody takes that leap, and I'm proud of you for taking that leap. For what it's worth, I think you got what it takes. I think you're going to do well, and so happy that you're doing it and doing it here in Marion. And so the city will be here to support you, and that's really it. That's what I wanted to say, is how proud I am of you and just excited for you. And
so I appreciate you, stay encouraged, and we're here to help support you in any way we can. Without Benji, it's not fair.
Riley will be back with sports right after this. Stay with us.
You work hard. You play hard. Build your performance and replenish with crisp and clear premium water when you need to quench that big thirst. Get more premium water at a lower price, now in a convenient 2-liter bottle. Buy one 2-liter bottle of crisp and clear water and get a 2-liter Pepsi for half price at participating locations. Crisp and clear premium water.
At Farmers State Bank, we prioritize not only our customers, but the communities that we live in. During this very difficult time,
we value your unwavering trust and loyalty in being your bank. Supporting and serving local businesses, familiar faces, friends and family.
Each and every day is a large portion of our job.
Farmers State Bank stands community strong.
As your bank, we are committed to bringing you
support, success,
and strength during this time.
Because we are
and always will be
here for you.
At Farmers State Bank,
no one
serves you better.
At Farmers State Bank, no one serves you better.
May God bless you.
May God bless all of you. The Marion Star Sports.
As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, IHSA sports remain on pause. The IHSA asked the Illinois Department of Public Health in a meeting Wednesday to review risk levels of all remaining sports with consideration for lowering some sports from their current risk levels. Low-risk sports may not begin until the state returns to Phase 4 in the all sports policy. The IHSA's Board of Directors is scheduled to meet again January 13th to discuss this issue. IHSA Executive Director Craig Anderson said the Board of Directors is going to have very difficult decisions to make regarding the seasons for medium and high-risk sports very soon. With no specific timeline or statistical benchmarks established for the return of sports and the calendar shrinking, putting together a puzzle that allows for all sports to be played becomes increasingly improbable. Anderson continues to urge all residents of the state to be very diligent in their efforts to adhere to safety guidelines, as a lower positivity rate remains the key to athletics returning. Now, one team that is playing is the SIU Salukis. The Salukis come into this weekend 7-3 and riding a 3-game losing streak after starting the season 7-0. And the Salukis will have to wait a little bit longer to snap that losing streak, as the Missouri Valley Conference has postponed the Indiana State Southern Illinois men's basketball series originally scheduled for this weekend in Terre Haute due to positive COVID-19 tests among SIU Tier 1 personnel, which include student athletes, coaches, managers, and staff. The conference will announce makeup dates at a later date. And the Salukis' former coach, Rich Herron, has passed away. Since our last broadcast on Christmas, Southern Illinois lost a local coaching legend when the former Oakville, Benton, SIU, Marion, and Northland College head coach died on Christmas night. He was age 87. Here's a look back at his life. A Southern Illinois coaching icon who touched thousands of lives during a legendary 60-year coaching career at both the high school and collegiate levels has passed away. Rich Herron died Christmas night at his home in Carterville. He was 87. Herron grew up the son of Methodist minister Reverend Homer Herron and moved around in his early years before eventually settling in Bridgeport, where he excelled in both football and basketball. He went on to then play college basketball, track, golf, and baseball at McKendree before launching his legendary basketball career at Oakville in 1956 at the age of 23. His 4-year stint there foreshadowed how successful the rest of his career would be, as he went an impressive 95-16 with the Rockets before moving downstate to Benton, a bigger high school and bigger challenge, as the Rangers program did not have much of a track record of success at that time. But Herron quickly changed that. His first ever team at Benton went to the Elite Eight in Champaign. He followed that up the next year by guiding the Rangers to a 31-1 mark in a return trip to Assembly Hall for the state tournament. This was the start of a legendary historic 25-year run with the Rangers, which included 52 tournament titles, 21 regional wins, 8 Sweet 16 berths, 6 Elite 8 berths, and 11 South 7 titles. After that quarter century of dominance, Heron then took on the biggest challenge of his career. While most men his age were nearing retirement, Heron jumped to the college ranks for the first time when he was hired to turn around a struggling Southern Illinois University men's basketball program that had hit rock bottom prior to his arrival. A string of losing seasons, recruiting violations, and probation had made the community's support of the Salukis dwindle, but Heron was the right man for the job. He went 32-53 in his first 3 seasons before getting things rolling in the early 1990s, when he led SIU to 4 straight NIT berths. His first NCAA berth came in the 1992-1993 season, which was SIU's first such bid in 15 years. This marked the first of a three-peat as Heron Salukis won 3 straight Missouri Valley Conference tournament titles, a feat that has never been repeated. Altogether, Heron went 225-174 as the Salukis head coach from 1985 to 1998. He led the Salukis to the postseason 7 times in 13 years and was named the 1990 Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year. He finished his run as the Salukis' second all-time winningest head coach before resigning in 1998 after 3 straight losing seasons. While this would have marked the end of a storybook career for most, Heron still had a desire to coach. After a brief retirement, he returned to the sidelines in 2002 at Marion High School, where he guided the Wildcats to a 68-77 mark in 5 seasons. Heron's work rebuilding the Wildcats program was evident in his last 2 seasons there, where he finished above 500 both years, including a 20-win season in 2004-2005. After laying a solid foundation, he gave way to other coaches from his big coaching tree, such as Aaron Maddox and Shane Hawkins, who built off Heron's success with the same principles and fundamentals they had learned under him. Despite reaching his 80s and declining mobility, Heron's passion for coaching was not done. He returned to the sidelines as the first ever Northland College basketball coach in 2012 and held that position until the college folded in 2017. One last milestone in his career was guiding the Patriots to the National Christian College Invitational Tournament Championship in 2016. Altogether, he finished just 19 wins shy of 1,000 for his career, with a staggering total of 981. He is immortalized in several Hall of Fames, including ones at McKendree and SIU, along with the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association, the St. Louis Sports, the Missouri Valley Conference, and the Southern Illinois Coaches Hall of Fames. Heron is survived by his wife of more than 50 years, Sue, his sons Rodney, Kyle, and Randy, his daughter Christy, and his grandchildren and great-grandchildren, among other beloved family members, former players, assistant coaches, and friends. In addition to the loss of Coach Heron, we are also mourning the loss of many others who are near and dear to our hearts who have passed away in the past month. Among them is Mike Mills, the owner of 17th Street Barbecue, who passed away on December 29th. His daughter Amy said Mike suffered from non-COVID related health issues. Known nationwide as the Barbecue King, he frequently appeared on national talk shows where he shared his secrets and always represented our region well. In this photo, Mike and Amy are shown in 2018 as they visited longtime Marion Mayor Bob Butler at a retirement reception that the Swinford Media Group presented for the mayor and the public.
We are going to be honoring all of those who have been memorialized with obituaries in our newspapers over the past year with a special section that is coming out in a few weeks. If your business would like to sponsor this section, or if you would like to add your loved one to those being remembered, please contact our office.
And if you enjoy the Marion Star Live, remember to like, share, and comment on this show and our other social media posts so we know you're watching. It really helps us reach a bigger audience, and we're thankful for your support. We plan to have a full years of 2021 Marion Star Live broadcast, and we hope to someday return back to live broadcasting Marion Wildcat sports as COVID guidelines allow us to. We also want to give a quick shout out to our Victoria Shore, who will be less involved with us now as she begins her duties as the Miss Illinois Outstanding Teen. She will be crowned officially at a ceremony at the Marion Cultural and Civic Center on January 20th.
Well, that will do it for tonight. It's been a great first show back in 2021. For Riley Swinford and our crew on the other side of the camera, I'm Rachel Stroud. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Good night.
The proceeding has been a production of the Marion Star Live. The material may not be reproduced, distributed, transmitted, or otherwise used without the prior written consent of Swinford Publications, LLC.